All right, now that it's 6 o'clock, I'd like to call to order the Town of Van Buren Zoning and Planning Board meeting for July 8, 2025. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mr. Sykes?
Here.
Ms. McMahon? Here. Mr. Roman?
Here.
Mr. Bose? Mr. Virginia?
Here.
Mr. Schottenbach? Mr. Budash?
Here. All right, everyone's received a copy of the June 10, 2025 meeting minutes. Any comments, revisions, changes? Hearing no comments, Chair entertaining a motion to approve the June 10, 2025 minutes.
So moved.
Second. Here first and second. Any comments? Hearing no comments, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Approved. First item on the agenda is a public hearing for Jesse Cake, 7246 State Fair Boulevard, tax map ID number 063-04-26.0. This is for a site plan review, change of use, and area variance for signage. Chair entertain a motion to leave the general session to enter into a public hearing.
Moved.
Second.
Hearing first and second, any comments? Hearing no comments, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? We are now in a public hearing. Please give your name and address, please, and use the mic if you don't mind.
My name's Doug Reed, 7695 Canton Street.
Can you give a description of what the applicant's looking to do?
What they're looking to do is to open up a new building here, a new business. I believe this was before you last month, and there was some problems with how everything was set up. We've come back with basically the same thing because we're going to combine next door neighbor not to go with this. That being said, we have parking here, 7 lots, some handicap over here. I believe there was an issue or question in regards to distance to the pavement here. I put that on the map so you can see it, 42.8 feet, more than enough to back out and turn around. The other items that are on there, I've shown, if you look inside the building, it says proposed 3x7 sign. And then there's an island that says grass area. There is a pole in there that used to be a sign. And I've got a note there with that.
Okay. So this is just to kind of reiterate, a change of use of the property. They were looking for an area variance for signage, and then the change of use with site plan approval. Being that we're in a public hearing, is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak for or against this application? I ask again, is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak for or against this application? Hearing no comment, Chair entertain a motion to leave the public hearing and go back into general session.
So moved.
Second. Hearing first and second, any comments? Hearing no comments, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? We are now back into general session. Can you please give your name and address again, please?
Doug Reed, 7695 Canton Street.
Okay, so just for the board's knowledge, obviously there's a subdivision application in front of us. That will be the next item on the agenda. The bigger item here is, I guess the question becomes, are you actually looking for an area variance for signage, being that there's just the 2 signs now?
So disregard.
Just, nice work though.
That was fine.
Okay.
Already being prepared.
Yeah, so as Doug mentioned, we did have several comments coming out of the last meeting. One being that handicap spot, which the plans we were looking at previously were a little smaller scale. We weren't sure how much room was in between the actual edge of pavement of State Fair Boulevard and that handicap spot. There is plenty of room now with 42.8 feet for a vehicle to back in and out of there to get negotiated to facing State Fair Boulevard before pulling out. The question on the parking along the side, we provided several different options of what can be done with that parking on the side. One being doing a subdivision and combining the two lots, which it looks like is the way the applicant is looking to go. And the other one was obviously moving the parking spots onto the lot itself. So, does anybody on the board have any comments at this time? So I guess Nadine, this is a question for you, knowing that, we're going to approve the site plan here, and we're going to allow them to start business, but make that contingent upon the subdivision application is approved as the next agenda item.
That's correct. And filing a recombined deed afterwards. And what I would just acknowledge for the meeting minutes is that we've already received the application. So this is not, there's not a question whether an application will be submitted. It has been received, but we need to, it was not received with the opportunity to refer it to county, which is required, and actually, no, it's not, because it's a 2-lot subdivision, so it's not required.
Correct.
But we need a public hearing on it. So, given the fact that there's common ownership already, and there's already an application, having that as a condition of approval, recognizing that part of their business is seasonal, we are making an effort to be accommodating.
On top of that, we did receive comments back from the county, county planning for the site plan and the area variance. I will ignore the area variance because that's off the table now. But I do want to read the, sorry, too much paper here. Read any comments that we got from the county planning board regarding the site plan. So a lot of whereases here, but I'm going to read the therefore it be resolved. The applicant must contact the New York State Department of Transportation to coordinate any right-of-way plans which may be subject to a work permit. The municipality must ensure any mitigation as may be determined by the department is reflected in the project plans prior to condition of the municipal approval. The applicant must contact the Onondaga County Water Environmental Protection Plumbing Control Division to discuss any requirements for a restaurant use of the site, including scheduling a re-inspection of the premises and obtaining the appropriate permits for all plumbing installations. The municipality must ensure any mitigation as may be determined by the department is reflected on the project plans prior to or as in condition of the municipal approval. And then the board does offer these following 2 comments. The planning board discourages an overabundance of signage. The board encourages the town to ensure signage is scaled appropriately for the building to the desired corridor environment and will be compatible with the neighboring uses. And 2, every municipal review provides the opportunity to improve the community appearance and applicant and the municipality are encouraged to improve site design by incorporating elements such as shared parking with neighboring businesses, landscaping along the road frontage and around the parking lots, and more vegetative buffering for adjacent residential properties. So does anybody on the board have any other comments regarding this application or site plan?
I guess my only question for the applicant is, and the county hit on it as far as designing elements. Are y'all gonna leave the chain link fence up? And are you planning on having any storage outside there?
Maybe my own stuff, I don't know.
I think it's just the dumpsters will be done.
Okay. So, I mean, I'd encourage y'all to look at maybe taking that down. If it's not gonna pose any issues for y'all in terms of security, I think it would make the property look a lot better. It's just my opinion. So driving by that chain link fence just seems out of place. Now that you've got, especially now that you've got one combined lot.
Based on the county's comments, is there any plans to add any landscaping to the property? You mentioned dumpsters. How many dumpsters are we talking about?
Just the recycle and a regular dumpster.
And they're gonna be in the back lot within the gated area, which will have access for the dump
Yes,
truck and stuff, okay. Are these dumpsters on the site now?
they're at the other. You don't have to move them, I can use regular.
No, I just kind of hitting some of these dots that I just have here.
Normally we screen those. They're not on the plan, so obviously there's not normally we put fencing around those to screen those.
Already got the fence?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Well, the chain link fence is not screening a dumpster.
No,
Depends on the screening plan.
I'll just use regular garbage cans, I don't need to cause more issues or anything.
Okay. Any other comments from the board?
Is there any buffering at all on the south side of the property along Northrop Boulevard? Are there any hedgerows or trees or anything like that?
No. There are trees between the building and the houses behind it, but not along Northrop.
I think the zoning on the other side of Northrop Boulevard, is that residential or is that,
It's residential.
yeah?
I mean, this was already a commercial property as it was too, so we're not really changing the, well, yeah, it was prior commercial use. Any other comments? We're gonna go through seeker here quickly. The board does declare itself a lead agency proceeding on an uncoordinated review. This matter is an unlisted action. And after reviewing the short environmental assessment form, does hereby render a negative declaration finding there are no adverse environmental impacts to be realized. End of motion.
Move.
Second. Hearing first and second, any comments? Hearing no comments, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Chair entertain a motion to approve the site plan change of use for Jesse Cake 7246 State Fair Boulevard, tax map ID number 063-04-26.0 as shown on the site plan date issued 6/26/25, provided from CNY Landscaping Surveying, and if I didn't mention before, it's both stamped and signed, with the condition that once the subdivision application process is complete, that the combined that the combined deed be filed with the county.
And a copy be provided to the codes office.
And a copy to be provided to the codes office. End of motion.
Second.
Hearing first and second, any comments? Hearing no comments, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Carried.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the subdivision application for Jesse Cake, 7244 and 7246 State Fair Boulevard, tax map ID number 063-04-26.0 and 063.0-25.0. You can give your name and address, please, again?
Doug Reese, 7695 Kent Street.
Okay, what are you looking to do?
Well, we're looking to take the lot we just approved, and we're gonna add the one that's on Northrop to it. It's gonna make it a total square footage of 25,038 square feet. That's pretty much it, pretty straightforward.
Being that this is a simple subdivision, this does not have to go to county for review, but we do need to hold a public hearing for this. Up front, does the board have any comments on what they see? So with that, Chair entertain a motion to schedule a public hearing for
August 12th.
Jesse Cake, 7244 and 7246 State Fair Boulevard, tax map ID number 063-04-26.0 and 063.0-04-25.0 for Tuesday, August 12th. And a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Hearing a first and second, any comments? Hearing no comments, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Scheduled. We'll see you back here next month for the public hearing.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Good luck with the business. August already. All right, next item on the agenda, the Tree Guy, 7356 Van Buren Road, tax map ID number 051.03-19.0. This is for a site plan review. Give your name and address, please.
David Rock, ROCPHD, 7701 Morgan Road, Malden.
Okay, can you just give a summary of what your business is and what you have operating out on that site today?
Yes, I'm an arborist from Baldwinsville. I own the Guy Tree Service. We are primarily a residential tree service and landscape company. Do process firewood.
So you process the firewood on site. What kind of operations does that entail?
We have a electric processor that basically we reclaim the logs from our jobs, process them through that, and then palletize them and get it sold.
So, Tom, where'd he go? Correct me if I'm wrong, this is zoned a D4, and this is allowable use with site plan approval?
Yes, sir.
So, I guess walk us through the site plan that you have here in front of us.
Sure. This is basically just a rough estimate. So our goal ultimately, someday after approval, is to kind of reduce our blueprint down to this corner down here, and basically abandon the old upper part of the lot that was originally there from 9 months construction. As you'll see, they're itemized through the original letter. But starting with number one is basically a pile of reclaimed chips that gets recycled and packed over it, so that's stuff that is only there temporarily. Number two and number three are two small structures. One is basically a hoop house that we keep hand tools in. The other one houses a wood splitter. 4, 5, 6 over here are basically another building that we have that is designed for dry storage for firewood. That's all that's kept in it. And basically, that's it. That's all that's really on the property, other than roughly where number 10 is our parking area where we keep 3 trailers that we have. And they're pretty much gone every day.
So 12, 13, 14 are piles of different types of rubble, it looks like.
Correct. Number 14 is mentioned in the letter. That is a pile of concrete that belongs to Mr. Noble that came from the addition onto the golf course a couple years ago.
Okay.
Before my time. Number 15 is a pile of recyclable wood chips that we basically recycle and sell. 13 is the same. It's a pile of stump grindings that we till in over every year, and we sell it still.
What about the blacktop material?
That's before my time as well.
You mentioned Mr. Noble.
Yes, sir.
Is he approved of the plan? You're not the owner, obviously.
Correct. He has, and he's also stated that he's making plans to have the concrete removed.
We should get
A letter.
authorization from him as the property owner.
He's the one that provided me with the survey.
I understand, just
Yeah, I can get
for
that.
our records.
100%.
So what we would require for an official site plan is actually the location of any permanent structures on the site, surveyed onto the site plan, show where parking is, show where any outdoor sales are. You mentioned that you want to you basically want to bring the site down to this, what would be southeast quadrant of the site. If that is your plan to do that, that should be shown on the site plan itself.
Okay.
With the designated areas, like you mentioned, I guess you didn't mention, but you do the sales right off of the site?
No, everything is private. This property is not open during the day.
Okay.
Everything is processed and delivered off-site.
Okay,
The only sales that are actually done there is the small one stand out front that just sells packs.
Okay.
That is no different than the road traffic that uses that easement.
okay. So that should be shown too?
It is mentioned now. Well, maybe not, I apologize, I have not known.
Right, but I guess it needs to be surveyed and showed on the official site plan itself. What about bathrooms? Do you guys have any?
We're not usually there long enough to really need one. In the event, we could get a porta potty, but typically we just use the bathroom at Pastas when we need to.
Okay, I mean, I heard that, and I did know that was going on. I'm not 100% sure that we could allow, these type of operations on a site without a portable, if that's the route you want to go. I mean, that's fine. But I think we would require a portable bathroom on the site. There was also, speaking with the town engineer earlier today, there's obviously a disturbance here that's over an acre. That there was originally a permit that was pulled with the DEC for stormwater. That has not been amended since. Being that this whole site is, basically, you could infiltrate the ground. You probably wouldn't need a full SWIP, but you were going to need some sort of erosion and sediment control plan for this site, along with the site plan. That will be reviewed by the town engineer. I guess, does the board have any other questions or comments before I kind of summarize?
I drove by the site the other day to check out the wood
that's sold at the roadside there, which is fine. I noticed that there's a pretty big drop from the asphalt, the edge of the asphalt down in the gravel. It's like 4 to 6 inches there. I don't know, I imagine that's the state right of way that they would have to add gravel for something like that to smooth it out. It looks like the driveway is okay. It's just farther down where the gravel is for parking.
It's annoying, I agree with you. We'd be willing to repair that, but it's my understanding that's the DOT easement, so that would take like other trucks to do the mowing along 69. So
Okay.
we'd be more than willing to assist in that, but I don't have any further direction on that one.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, there's plenty of room for people to park and load up their car or whatever.
On your application, it says are easements required with adjacent property owners, and you mark yes, and agreements are in place. What easements would those be?
It's not an easement, excuse me, there is the additional neighbor's property here. We just recognize this area that is all thick brush and whatnot to not be disturbed as the neighbor just wishes it to be there. And that was there before me, so that by the easement is just a natural brush line that she wishes to keep as part of her property.
And you mentioned National Grid. They access your site to access their easement running along the northern part of the property?
All the time. They use Reese, which is the power line service company. So they do an annual speed control. So if you're not aware of this section, over by the highway, excuse me, over here, way over here, is actually a very large ravine. It goes down to the highway, it's 12 to 15 feet deeper than the property, the elevation of the property. This road was designed so that they could use off-road trucks to get down in that easement and drive underneath the power lines all the way along 690, because they can't access it from 690 and they can't access it from the upside of the hill. So this road and that easement is National Grid's.
So does National Grid have an easement that cuts through the property?
Correct. It's right here. And it's 125 feet from the first wire, which is the road you made built.
But they don't have an easement that actually accesses your driveway or actually Jim's driveway?
They just call Mr. Noble and ask to unlock it, and he provides that for them.
Okay. All
And
right.
we typically know the day before, because they just start parking equipment out front of me.
I guess that's an issue with Jim then. Okay. Anybody, any other comments from the board at the moment?
No lighting?
There is 2 outdoor lighting. There is a light pole mentioned here, I believe it's item number 9. That is a 35-foot telephone pole, very appropriately with a solar powered light on it. There's also one over here, I believe it's item number 4, that is by the 2 buildings. That one also has a solar powered light on it and a security camera.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see them on the plan.
Yeah, so basically, just kind of to summarize, were you done, James? I apologize. So we're gonna need a surveyed site plan that, basically surveys and shows the locations of all these different items. As James mentioned, showing where the lighting is, showing where any structures are, parking for your crew, whatever. The outdoor sales that are adjacent to Van Buren Road, we would want that to be shown. And then however you were going to consolidate your use of the property should be shown on that site plan, because that's what we're going to ultimately approve. We're going to approve the reconfiguration of this site as it functions for you moving forward. So,
Do you have water on the site?
No, we do not. There is water plumbed to the side of the road. Future is by the gate. I actually have another map of it. It's abandoned to us, or not in use to us, but there is technically water to the property.
I guess, do you have any questions for us? Because what I'm going to do, I'm just basically, so if you can get us a site plan put together, we could, go through the approval process next month. This is something that doesn't require a public hearing,
No.
but it does have to go to council. So we can't refer anything to the county without having a site plan. And there's times where their meeting doesn't coincide with our meeting. When is the next county meeting, if you don't mind me asking?
July 23rd, so everything would have to be filed by the 11th.
Okay, that's not happening, okay. Unless you got a miracle worker, where it's gonna be very difficult to get a site plan completed and, submitted by the 11th.
And then Mark, the next one is August 13th, so you won't meet that one either.
Well, there's two ways to approach this. I mean, we can't act without 239 approval, obviously, but I think it might be up to the applicant whether he wants to return, even though a public hearing isn't needed. So just for your own information, there's certain land use applications that require referral to Onondaga County Planning Board. And this would be one of them, site plan. And it's whenever you're located within 500 feet of a state or county road or a municipal boundary. We don't have any choice in this. This is state law, and we can't act until they've either sent comments back or 30 days has passed and they haven't given us comments. So this board, you could return in August, but they can't do anything. So if you returned in August, it would simply be for, are you satisfied with what I have? Are there any concerns? And having because you don't technically have a site plan yet. So if you wanted to return, you could, just to kind of dot your I's and cross your T's and make sure you're all set, knowing that unfortunately they can't approve it that night, but they could in September.
Yeah, and that's, and you probably even don't need to attend the meeting. I mean, if you get your site plan submitted, we'll put it out to the board and stuff like that. We'll review it as part of a pre-agenda meeting and everything. So we will be able to provide you any comments without you attending the meeting. But as the town's attorney mentioned, we just can't approve it until the county. And since the meetings don't coincide, we won't have comments back from them until our September meeting, unfortunately.
I understand, I'd rather get the paperwork in and let the process roll, and when it's voted, it's voted.
And I appreciate your thought process with that.
I understand.
It's sometimes a pain in the butt, but we're stuck with it, so.
Is this site under a stop work order?
No,
Okay.
I didn't put a stop work order because he's been in operation for how many years?
6 going on 7.
I don't think that's,
No, I agree. That's why I wanted to ask, because I know he's been there for a while.
Any other comments, questions? So, since we don't have any more comments, I would just say, if you have any other questions based on what we talked about, please meet with the codes officer. He could give you basically explains exactly what needs to be shown on a site plan, besides what I just said. It's written all out for you. You can hand that over to a surveyor or whatever, and they'll take care of it for you, so.
Very good.
Very good?
Thank you so much for your time.
Yep, thank you. Have a good evening.
You as well.
Just the other item was that letter from Jim, good authorization letter for your work. Okay, thank you. All right, next item on the agenda, and I apologize, I'm gonna massacre this, but if I do, I apologize. Zanita Osicki? 7732 Seneca Beach Drive, tax map ID number 030.03-26.0. This is for an area variance. Can you give your name and address, please?
Sure. My name is Shana Tajinashits. This is my husband, Lucas Ashitsky. My address is 5397 Mountain Drive, Lake New York. I'm here to ask for variance to the property located at 7732 Seneca Beach Drive for front yard of the 5.7 and the right side yard for 9.4. I would like to a little bit tell the story about...
You just use the microphone, sorry, just for recording purposes.
Okay. I would like to say a little bit story how we purchased this land and what we've been kind of through it. So we purchased this land in 2021. I found this land on one of the website. I came, I see it, we both with my husband when we fell in love. We will kind of want to build a house on the river, right? So throughout the process, we met the neighbor. The neighbor said first thing to me, you will never, ever build on this land. That being heard, I got very discouraged. So upon hearing this, I really did my investigation. I came to town of Buren several times since 2021. I met several code officers. I started actually with Casey Palmer that explained it to me. Unfortunately, your neighbor will be not giving you
Approval.
what's it called?
Approval?
Will not give approval for your plans, okay? So I say, okay, please explain me, walk me through it. What do I need? What I'm getting into it. So since 2021, Town of Buren was aware of the lot, how the lot looked like. Previously, there was an old building over there that was demolished. I do not know, was it demolished with a fire or was just taken down? This is a mystery. However, what was basically told me that as long as I am staying in within the footprint of the old house, within the size of the old house and the location of the old house, I will be able to place the new dwelling on the same footprint. I'm like, okay, no problem. You know, what else do I need? You do not need anything else. However, if you want to, you will need, will actually need the letter from Army Corps of Engineer. So the previous owner went through the trouble, take the pictures. You guys have those pictures from Army Corps of Engineer added to that file. Take the pictures, apply to Army Corps of Engineer, which conclude that the lot is buildable, suitable for the building. We confirmed with the DEC that because there was an older dwelling in that, in the size, I'm sorry, there was an older dwelling in the same location, they will allow us to build without encroachment review if we stay within the footprint of this, of the old location. However, if we do not wish to stay within the footprint, make the house bigger, make the house move forward or backward or whatever, then we will have to involve, what is it? Called engineering and the CDRG and all kinds of process has to be done. Which me and my husband went through it and kind of figured out, can we make it work? I went to my husband, we make this beautiful plan of the house that, as you see it.
Yeah, flip it right up there.
Taking into consideration the spacing, we have family of 6. So as you see on the footprint of the house is very consolidated to fit a little family, growing family. So that being said, as we went through the process, I started this process in 2022. I met at the time Pete Mitchell's, I think. Yes, Pete Mitchell's. Our son got cancer diagnosis that was a little bit too much for our family to go through it. So we postponed this entire process. Furthermore, 2024 come around. At the time, Pete Mitchell's was working with the team Gainey. We start looking into it. Tim Gainey said, you won't be able to build it. You know, you need encroachment review, Seneca Beach Drive going through entire process of investigation, you need an ABCD, which means everything, right? I'm like, I actually emailed you at the time. I really want to make an appointment with you. I didn't know what I'm dealing at this time. So I want to make sure that, whatever is going on, everybody tell me before I can build now, I cannot build, I cannot touch. So this land for me is useless. I spent so much time and so much money to put this off the ground. So on the January 2025, we came again, we met in March, I believe so, Mr. Fuchsia. We talked still with Mr. Gainey, and we kind of follow along with the entire process. We present the letters from Army Corps engineers, we present the letters from previous code officers that stating that, yes, we can build with an existing buildings. All the paperwork as part of the survey maps never was an issue as part of variance, right? Nobody mentioned to us on, when was that? I think May, we come to agreement that just, I think a week or 2 weeks before Mr. Gainey left, that there's no problem as long as we draw the original and stamped plans, we are able, there will be just formality to just, apply for the
Area variance?
building permit, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Area variance wasn't brought up at that point yet.
Okay.
Everything's supposed to be all set, okay? So it was just at the time, just the official part. We did that, and it turns out that we need this area variance. We were told that we were grandfathered in because there's no way we can move this structure. We knew from the beginning that's the only way we can build. The town of Buren assured us on several aspects of it that that's how you can only build. Are you okay with that? Are you sure you want to adopt this now? I'm like, yes, I will make it work. Today, we are here because we do need that, variance to ask for those side setbacks. And at that point, it's just we prolong this everything is just kind of getting.
So just to go along with the variances, we did some due diligence as far as Seneca Beach Drive, the structure, the way that it's laid out right now. You have all the pictures from the way the actually is laid out. There are some houses that are less than 6 feet apart, wall to wall. We're asking for a variance from our side of the property. Our closest neighbor on that side, I believe, without actually going on his private property, I believe his side was 12 feet away from that property. So it's not like on the other 5 properties that you can see here, that are basically side to side looking into each other's windows. We took into account the site plan of the house as well. From the neighbor side, limited the amount of windows to allow privacy for us as well as the neighbor.
Actually, there's no windows on the neighbor side. Yeah, there's no windows on the neighbor side from the area that we asked for the variance. We try to be very considerate of our neighbor. We try to be a good neighbors. And unfortunately, this slab is a useless slab for us. We don't go. We're paying top dollar for the taxes on the slab. You guys will benefit eventually if we build it, and so the neighborhood will benefit eventually.
The property until now just kept changing hands, and that's part of the neighbor's frustrations, is that everybody just kept selling the lot, telling the next person that it's buildable, it's buildable.
And like
that's the thing, like, we wanted to get to a point where, we're very passionate about what we want to develop there, and looking at the street design, it doesn't change the way the street design, so apparently some of the summer area variance criteria is whether the benefit can be achieved by other means feasible. So everybody keeps asking us, can we move the building? We would love to relocate the building, but unfortunately, everything that's already been laid out as groundwork for this property would now go to the wayside. Everything that, all the permit, all the DC letters, everything else like that goes out the window. You start from scratch, and based on apparently what has been happening on Seneca Beach Drive.
It's less likely we will be able to develop anything over there. Then
As far as changing the undesirable neighborhood characteristics on nearby properties, I mean, it's a brand new construction. As you can see, we're not looking to build a shed, we're looking to add to the value of the neighborhood. As from what I've heard, some of the questions that you ask people when they're proposing site plans to you guys is how will it change the overall appearance and will it benefit the neighborhood, okay? We're looking to build a nice, clean, modernized structure with the other engineering designs that are required with flow-through crawl spaces and also the floodplain elevations. So apparently that's one of the issues as far as when the land was restructured by the DEC or FEMA, however they changed the language on the plan. So the property that sits higher than to accommodate the 3-foot floodplain and then 2 feet of additional finished floor spacing. So we're making sure we're on the environmental side of it. The lot is a very flat lot. It doesn't change the shoreline, doesn't change anything as far as the outlook of the neighborhood. It would just be a clean structure going on. There will be no grading changes, no additional obstructions. Fencing, we could consider fencing later down the line, but if that's something we can figure out some kind of a green hedgerow or something like that to separate ourselves from the neighbor, to create
Helping
more.
out with the privacy and stuff like that on both our sides.
Let's see. So that answers the question of adverse physical environmental effects. There isn't any, like I said, everything that you have in your file is predicated on the fact that we are using the existing size of the building, existing footprint, and existing location. Unfortunately, none of those can be changed without changing the building, especially the location part. This is why we're here. The last part is the location.
We were out, like, for the way it was presented to us, we never was even considering, in order to change that setbacks, we will need to change the location.
And again, this is just to see for yourself, to see how far we are in the process of this, and we are just here for the first time. We started this process 4 years ago, and this is the first time anybody's mentioned the word setback. Well, wait a minute, your building is not where it needs to be. Like, wait a minute, we've asked at least half a dozen of Van Buren town officials with this, involved state agencies, and not one person has said, hey, I understand this is a great building, but we can't build this.
And another thing is, as a matter of fact, Chris Perdue, he had that issue. When I met him, they said, you can't build because you have to have a setback. I'm like, no. They said to me when I purchased this, that this letter is supposed to guarantee me that I can be grandfathered. I know you guys don't like that terminology, grandfathered, but that's what was sold to me at this point by, 2 codes officers previously and one after. And it turns out that Tim, I apologize, Chris Perdue, he went to, I believe, planning board. I don't know who it was because it's basically my word versus his word. But I'm sure if you mentioned the blonde that was there every single day to try to figure out this, he will remember. At this point, he said, you don't have a problem with it, just set up the plan, you have everything over here. And then I found a diagnosis, and it was just not meant to be at the time.
So I don't mean to interrupt, but just for the information of the board. When this came to my attention, it was when Code Officer Fusa came to me and he was asking some questions. I think where there is some confusion in the past is everything they're saying is it would be completely fine and they wouldn't need any area variances at all if one of their predecessors in title, whomever that may have been, hadn't totally demolished the house. That is what was the kiss of death for them. Because when that whole house was demolished, and we don't know if it was by fire, like she said, how it was completely lost, we don't know. But unfortunately, the way the code reads is that once the structure is gone in its entirety, then you lose that non-conforming protection. So had that structure not been gone, they wouldn't need the area variances, they wouldn't need anything. So I don't know if that was some of the confusion from prior, especially since we have had some turnover in the office. And so I'm not unsympathetic to the plight that they're now facing, that but for the full removal of that structure, they wouldn't need to be here.
So the thing is that the town who actually provided us with the location of the old building to restate.
Right.
So it's, I hate to get into the back and forth and that, because I'm not speaking from, position of power here, but
From our understanding, what you just confirming is, yes, there was no footage of the house. We were aware, so the town of Van Buren. That's why this letter.
No, I'm not disputing any of that.
No, I understand. I just
Yeah.
want a clarification from my perspective, how they were explaining this to me.
Nope.
And it's written in this letter that, that they did provide the accessory structure, I'm sorry, they did provide the old house footage that was filed in assessor's office from the time of demolition of this house. So when I came to the office, that's what I was presented with. And when I asked, like, this is my neighbor that's telling me I will never ever be able to build, and you telling me that I will, so there's a disconnect.
so they knew that the structure wasn't there. They told us to recreate the structure
Correct.
for.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying, but for that full removal, then you, under the way our code is written at this time, that if the structure hadn't been removed in its entirety, there's like a certain percentage that it can be removed for a non-conforming use to be resumed or rebuilt. So I'm just saying, I'm just providing the explanation to the board why you are even here today. I'm not taking away the legitimacy of what you're saying about what took place and what was told to you or anything else. I'm not saying that.
And that's the reason we came to the town, is because we don't know, we were just going based on.
I understand.
the word. When we come here to a town official, we expect them to provide us information based on all the information on the town code.
I understand.
That wasn't rewritten since we bought this property.
Like I said, I'm not unsympathetic to your situation.
It will be completely different. I promise you, if I will come over here with everything that I need and just say, here you go, give me the building permit.
So just for your information, there's a process, okay? So you have filed your area variance application. You have done a wonderful job of a presentation, but area variances do require a public hearing. That's state law. That's not Town of Van Buren specific. So with this board, this does not require, to the best of my knowledge, any 239 review. So all this requires, I say all, but the board needs to schedule a public hearing for their next meeting. And that very well organized presentation you just gave, you should give at the presentation, at the public hearing, because that addresses, you went right through the criteria very specifically. That's what you should do at the public hearing. And so the board tonight is in a position to schedule it for a public hearing. I mean, and ask any questions they may have, sorry. But just to explain the process.
All right, so Tom, what are we looking for variances here? What is the variances that are required for this?
It is a 10-foot setback, and like we talked about in the pre-agenda meeting, I was talking about a footprint.
So what's the number, between the 10 foot that they need, what are they asking for?
It's in the
They're asking for
application.
they're asking for, on the record, they're asking for 7.6, but it's really 9.6. Is what
Yes.
they need because of the building overhang that you mentioned during the pre-agenda meeting.
What about the front yard setback?
The front yard would be two more feet as well. There's a 2-foot overhang around the whole footprint of the building. I want to say, the building that they're looking to build is beautiful.
Well, that's fine.
It's beautiful.
Yep.
You know, like, I think it's going to brighten up that whole spot.
Okay. Does the front yard variance go from the front of the deck?
It goes from the.
So there's-
Goes from the shoreline.
I understand that, but to the structure itself, the old footprint here looks like it had a deck attached to it. I'm looking at the diagram that had all the
That deck is an overhang. So that's an overhang. So what you see.
Okay, so that's an overhang right
That's
there.
an overhang. So that, yeah, it's going from that where it says J on the, I'm looking at a site survey. So if you see F and J,
Yeah,
yeah, it's going from that line.
it's going from F.
Yeah, so you would just add 2 more feet for that, because that's where the overhang is. The overhang on that roof is.
Okay. All right, so as Nadine so eloquently said, we appreciate everything, everything you guys gone through. There's 2 things up here is, yes, the DEC said you could rebuild this exactly on the lot that, or the same footprint as the old building. So did the Army Corps of Engineers. The issue is, and Nadine did say it, is now that there's no structure there, all of a sudden the non-conforming lot goes away and we have to look at this with these variances. Unfortunately, that's why we're here. Nadine is correct, we do have to schedule, this is nothing that we're gonna settle tonight by any means. We have to go to a public hearing. It's the front yard setback from the river is not my hang-up right now. My hang-up is the 9.5 feet variance that you need on the side. And I understand there's no windows. I understand that the structure of your neighbor next door to the northwest or southwest is a certain amount of feet off of his property line anyway. So I've heard 12 to 15 feet. I haven't measured it. But the issue is basically you need the whole setback to be approved. The 9 foot 6 inches there. So that's the biggest hang up right now. The one option that, and I want to bring this up before we schedule a public hearing, is the one option that can be done here and to move the house is a no-rise analysis. That could get this house moved from this footprint and move it over. We've done this in the past. It's not a long process. You would have to hire an engineer to do it. It's
Mark,
not.
can I interrupt for a second?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
We did hire Barton and Leguida to do this, to build a model for us. And Wendell has already everything in place. It's a couple hour process for him to do no-rise analysis for you to see how this fits. And that's what we spoke about when we first met, a no-rise analysis. And if you reach out to B&L, we can talk about this. I can send you the information, but it's a great option.
This is something you might want to explore before we get to the actual public hearing and get an idea of, and it doesn't have to be Barton LaJuice, it could be, any engineer, but I do know there's been models done previously that can be used to help do this. You would submit that to the DEC. My understanding, it's a very quick turnaround to get that back. And it could be something that could be done maybe before the next meeting. I can't say if that's the case or not, but I think that's something you should look at doing, which would then allow you to take your house, being in the same footprint, and move it over the 9.5 feet that you need to do this. Then the agita that I'm kind of having right now, and I can't speak for the rest of the board, I'm going to allow them to, make any comments they can right now, would eliminate that completely.
I'd have a problem with only a 6-inch setback. So it's.
Mr. Chairman, what if they did this? What if a public hearing is scheduled?
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, you reach out to whatever engineering firm has this
100%.
information. And if it is a real quick turnaround, you may be able to just come back and say, you know what, thank you, but I'm withdrawing my application, everything's fine. But you haven't lost any time because you still scheduled the public hearing. If they come back and they say, we're sorry, this is not gonna move, this is what you have, that only helps you with your argument to the board on why the relief is necessary. Just a thought in how this is.
No, agree 100%. That's kind of where I was going with this, is it would be just another checkbox that you would check that you've exhausted all resources to be able to move this thing. That's the best I can do. Does the board have any other comments at this point or any thoughts on this?
The application's calling for 7.4 feet of relief. Where does 9.5 come
It's
from?
from the overhang, the 2-foot overhang. That'd have to be revised.
This right here, apparently, right?
So
Yes.
can you reduce the heave?
We can ask.
You could reduce it to a 1 foot, but that's not gonna.
I'm not a contractor or a.
Well, I don't know,
guy,
you
so I
gotta
don't know
talk
how
to the
much that can be
architecture,
reduced,
right?
but,
I mean,
yeah.
that's another thing you need to look at, you know, I mean, a 6-inch relief is, that's difficult. Yeah, I mean, you're right on the building line, pretty much, you're right there. So I think you need to do what the chairman has said, get this analysis going. Talk to your architecture, see if it's possible. That way you've got that in your back pocket. And then hopefully this no-rise analysis shows that you can move the property and this is a moot point. But I would explore the overhang too.
So, thank you. Roger, do you have any questions, comments at this time? Jesse?
That's mine.
So Tom, there was a question in one of the letters dated July 15, 2019 from Veranda Weirley from the DEC. It mentions that the building would still be subject to a floodplain development permit
I think Jamie had asked you this question.
and will need to comply with the current National Flood Insurance Program, obviously standards.
And yes, we spoke about that, and they want to go through this process. They'll comply with the flood, because they're gonna have to.
They'll have to
Yeah.
submit a permit
We're
for
gonna
that.
go through this process first.
Okay.
That was my question, is no matter where on this lot, that permit is going to be needed.
Even if this thing is built right on the same exact footprint.
It's in a floodway.
Right.
Right, that's what I'm saying, yeah, is they've determined that the entire lot is in a hazardous
entire lot is in
floodplain.
floodplain.
Yeah, okay.
Tom, do they still require the basement to be able to, for the water to
There
flow
is no
through?
basement.
There will be no basement.
There is no basement,
No,
they have a crawl
it's on the
space.
plan.
It's across
They have a
the,
crawl space, and there's required vents that they would be putting in into the plant.
So it could flow through if
Oh,
it
yeah,
had to?
it's,
Yeah, okay.
it's on point, everything's on point, it's just the variance, it's just so close to that parcel.
yeah, the property is above the 3-foot floodplain and then the 2 additional feet to meet the new requirements for the area.
Okay.
They're going higher, so they're not only going 2 feet above the base flood elevation, they're going 5 feet above the unit.
Smart.
But again, we try to get everything out of the way. There's one, and then, unfortunately, we're 4 years into the process, and we're just, this was never mentioned.
Understood. Understood.
I mean, multiple code officers, not one person has said.
No comment. Well, the reason
I'm just a peasant on the street trying to conform to the rules.
and I can appreciate that, and even if our code, whoever the code officer may be, whether it was Tom, Chris, you can go all the way back till the beginning of time of the town. If they make a determination on something and you guys disagree with it, that's how you become in front of us anyway.
Right.
Because then we basically solve the disagreement between
We're not
them.
disagreeing with it. The whole office is disagreeing with their own.
Understood. I'm just saying that, whatever determinations made by the code, we function somewhat separately. So that would be my recommendation is we'll schedule the public hearing, which is needed no matter what, however this goes. We'll schedule it for next month. And in that time, I would sit down with Tom again and look at this no-rise analysis. And I think you're gonna find that it's a really good option. And like I said, if they come back and says it's not, it's just another checkbox to solidifying why there's nothing else you can do but build this exactly where it is. So.
I got a question. The letter from the Army Corps was addressed to Shelley Smith. Is she a previous owner?
Yes, that was the one contingency that when I purchased the lot, I want to make sure that the Army Corps of Engineers was aware of what's going on and that I will not have any issues in the future.
And why didn't she build?
Why did she build?
Why
Because
did-
they want a bigger house, and actually, I think they want a different structure,
They wanted a barn.
condominium over there, and that was out of the question. And again, square footage of the house itself was an issue.
That's why we went to a 2-story to try to get as much out of the structure within the footprint of what it is.
Okay. So the only other thing I would do is just make sure the application gets changed to the actual.
Yes, we wouldn't notify, we wouldn't go where the 2 feet,
Yep.
just about.
Just, if you just get that changed too, that'll help too, so. Chair entertain a motion to schedule a, what'd I do in my minutes here? There they are. Public hearing, and I'm gonna ask for this again, I apologize. Zian Ozeki, 7732 Seneca Beach Drive, tax map ID number 030.03-26.0 for an area variance scheduled for August 12th, 2025. End of motion. Move.
Second.
Hearing first and second, any comments? Hearing no comments, all those in favor? Aye. Against? Scheduled. So we will see you back here next month. Please sit down with the codes officer and he can point you in the right direction for that notarized analysis. All right, last item on the agenda. Traybrook Phase 2-B 7360 State Fair Boulevard, tax map ID number 064.03-01.1. This is for a subdivision, basically a final site plan phasing, or final site plan subdivision approval.
My eyesight was good. 40, 97, 65.
Hi guys, Brandon Jacobson, Rolex Properties, 5912 North Burdick Street. Good to see y'all. It's been a while.
It has.
Yeah.
What are you looking to do?
I'm gonna put some more lots online. I guess though, if you don't mind, I'll give you kind of a 1.5 minute Reader Digest of Traybrook over the last, call it 6 or 8 months, give you an update. So you can tell it's been a kind of a beehive over there, driven by the subdivision. We have sold all the single family lots, are contractually sold at Cornerstone Homes, which includes this continuation of Dewport Road and the continuation of Lexi Lane, which is the final 22 lots which are not on this map. We will most likely be back here next month or the month after for the other 22 lots that will complete all of the single family subdivision lots in Traybrook by the fall of this year. We've been to the site, we're almost done with the sewers, continuing down Lexi. The Dewport Road sewers have been in for a couple months, tested with Jason at the town. We're just waiting on Aqua, which is supposed to be there next week to install water service, and then we will put binder coat down and off to the races, so to speak. So the only unique piece I would say is it's the first 8 townhomes that we put online, which was approved back when we did this, I think in 2019. So that will be the final piece to the Traybrook subdivision is the townhome section. So we as Rolex are still going to currently be entitled to that product and this time plan on building them. But that is what I'm looking for is to put these 15 lots online today so that we can begin the building process.
So how does this differ from the preliminary?
Not a thing, not a single thing. We haven't changed a lot line, nothing from the original plat, this is identical. And
Sorry.
And so will the 22, we haven't made one change or asked for a change.
Tom, have we been able to find the preliminary plat that was approved?
Our office is,
I spent the whole day yesterday looking.
So if I don't mind interrupting, so we can go to the county, because they definitely have one. So I can go down there and get us a copy from you, because they have Mylars and things of that nature.
I would happen to be here one day when Job stopped in.
Yeah.
And I went through the map cabinets in there and
I know.
it's not there.
I don't know.
We've got the phases, but we don't have the overall plot plan.
Job, who works for me, he went down to the county, he's kind of already on search, because we figured this, we're gonna need this, especially as they come on pretty rapidly here over the next 12 months, because we're gonna be getting into another whole product for the townhomes. So I can reach out again, find out where Job is with the county, finding that one that was filed, back when Tony was, I think, planning board chair.
If it got filed,
Pretty sure we wouldn't have gotten 911s and all that if we didn't.
better talk to your attorney.
Well, I know I know the HOA has been filed with the Attorney General because I found that documentation, so I'm assuming we had to, I mean, again, I don't want to make assumptions, but yeah.
Because usually we get a copy of it when it's filed.
Right. And I would,
It's got the little white sticker on
I'm
it.
just saying, I don't know, there's been a little bit of, I'm not gonna go there, how's that? Just gonna leave it at,
Understood.
yeah.
Understood.
We'll work together diligently.
Understood. So I would like to see, I mean, that was my biggest concern, is to make sure that nothing has changed from what was originally approved. It will be the same with, like you mentioned, the 22 lots that are.
Yeah, nothing has
here.
changed. I got this all for Seguin, who did the original surveying.
Yep.
Has the original map, and not one thing has changed, not even one lot line, so.
We approved a 40-foot wide lot. Wow.
Yeah, so what those are, just James to go over that. These two they're duplexes, so there's zero lot line in the middle.
All right, okay, that
Yeah.
helps. That refreshes my mind, thank you.
Yeah, those would be tight, but it's still the same 25-foot setbacks on,
25, is it?
you got,
Okay.
no less than 10 on one side and, obviously.
25 total,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I think most of the lots fit anywhere, when I was talking to the architect, it's basically 30 to a 32-foot wide townhome, which is nice because you can have a first floor owner suite, fits on those type of floor plans. But I would say first and foremost, we're hoping for the 7 lots because I guess Cornerstone has some patrons that want to move into the neighborhood, and we'd like to be able to have those online here in the next few weeks as we've got Onondaga County water and paving scheduled.
So this wouldn't require a public hearing? Am I
Sorry,
correct?
would or
This
would not?
Would not.
That's correct. You always have the ability, when you do a preliminary plan and you've had your hearing on that, you can waive if there haven't been any changes. That's the key here. As long as there's no changes, you don't have to have another public hearing.
Would could we approve this contingent on, okay, thanks for that look. Does the board have any other comments at this point? I'm just trying to think here in my head while.
Well, that's where I was gonna go, but the look said it all.
Well, the only concern I have is what he was hinting at is that somehow we received this document and it's not in the files. But
Well, why doesn't the developer have a copy in his file?
He's getting it.
I have the map, I just don't have the one with the sticker on it.
Yeah.
Because my surveyor is the one that provided this, the same original surveyor. who
You
did
don't
it.
have the lot, the map number, the date it was filed? All of that should be in the abstract, like this. This is like total common knowledge. If you filed a map, you have a map number and the date it was filed. We don't even need to look at it. We would just go down to the clerk's office and say, I need map number, blah, blah, blah.
Sure, I just wasn't asked for it. I mean, about the application, this was, yeah, I'm happy to do it, whatever you need me to find. I don't have the one that's got the sticker that, I think it's a Mylar
I
too.
don't, yeah.
I need to get a copy of that preliminary, what was approved preliminarily.
Okay, so get a hold of the county then.
If that's the best option to grab it, then yes.
Do I need to come for another meeting?
Yes. I cannot logistically approve this without knowing that absolutely nothing has changed on this. And I have to believe, if, I can't speak for the rest of the board, I can go for a vote right now, and I don't know how it's gonna go, but if that's what something you wanna, go through, and I can throw up a vote here, but that's just what's gonna happen.
I told Joe 2 or 3 weeks ago, whenever he was in here, that he could get it at the county clerk's office then. And he certainly had time to do it.
So,
But if there's no changes, the approval, you don't need a public hearing or anything, so you could do it at the next meeting.
There's another month.
August 12th.
Another. Could we, what about setting security? 'Cause I'm gonna be done by then, so all I have left is Tompkins Road, so.
Well, there will be another agreement, because each phase you have an agreement,
Yeah.
so that still is going to be needed, but doing it beforehand won't change.
Yeah, so we can't pull building permits until August 12th. So where's it?
Well, you said the water authority still gotta lay the mains, right?
That'll take a whopping 2 days. Come on. It's frustrating that I've had this application and I paid my fees, and I don't know why we had to come all this way. This is lot 40-something that 50-something we're putting online, 50 to 62 with an additional 22. It just seems, avoided this. This was the sticking point. Nobody told me. I mean, I'm a cell phone call away. Got a good relationship with you guys over the last 5 years. But it is what it is. If that's what you want, that's what we'll do. I was just hoping that we could expedite it. Again, my surveyor hasn't changed a single thing from the original map, the plat that was signed, so.
You can blame it on me, I wasn't here when that was approved, so I have no idea if that's true or not. So I'd like to see if it's changed or not. I'll take the blame.
Any other comments from the board? Okay. Yeah, we're gonna need to see it. Thank you.
This was a big ass.
Couple other items. So I forwarded everybody on the board an email that I received in regards to the variance request on 7732 Seneca Beach Drive, the last applicant. Basically, it's the adjacent property owner wrote a email saying that they would like that not to be approved. So please review that on your time. Like I said, I emailed it to the rest of the board regarding that.
You sent it over the Outlook?
I just sent it because I just received it.
So, just so I understand that, the footprint that was there before it either got swept away, burned down, or demolished, it did not require a variance.
We don't know if that
We don't know.
originally did.
We don't
have
know.
no idea.
So nothing in the file on that.
No,
But clearly, we don't have a map here, so.
Yeah,
It was built in 1952.
so,
What do you mean you don't have a map here? There's the original survey's there.
no, he's talking about the map for this, so why would we have information?
It was always my understanding that even if one wall had remained up, then they could have rebuilt on the footprint.
It's a little more than that. I believe our code reads that 25% of the structure needs to be remaining, but at this point, I mean, we've got nothing. So that's and
It's
I
like
can't-
starting over.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
And the documentation, I mean, these individuals clearly have put a lot of work into this. I think what's confusing is if you read the communications, all the communications that they've provided is that the DEC or the Army Corps are fine. There's nothing that says that you don't still need to comply, like, with local. So that's the difficulty. But that no rise analysis, if they can get that information, it'll help one way or the other, because it's either gonna get them to be able to move it, or it'll help reinforce the fact that it'll help them check those criteria that there are no other options.
Well, I mean, I
believe with
can.
no rise analysis, if they shift the house
If it can
over a
be
little
shifted.
bit, they're gonna compromise that variance in the front yard, on the riverside, and even in the rear yard. They're really maximizing that square footage. It's the side yard.
But those I can get over. I can get over the front and the rear. I just can't get
Right.
past the side one. If they can move this thing over 10 feet.
I asked the guy from the DEC at the time, said, hey, can we just move it over? I asked for 8 foot.
Yeah,
So I wasn't
well, the
thinking
DEC's not gonna, I mean, yeah, they would have to do this analysis, and that's on the, unfortunately, it's on the applicant, so.
You know, if you look at the documentation that's in here from, I mean, it looks like Casey just regurgitated Dave's letter.
I think he literally just photocopied it.
Yeah, I mean.
Like, I was literally just rereading it again,
Yeah,
like,
so, I
who
mean, to
signed
me,
this
when
one?
you,
Who signed
when you
that?
read this, it pretty much, if I'm a homeowner and don't dive into code, it pretty much green lights me.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think at some point, we just need to tell them, look, you know, our codes officer,
but I believe when Dave made that determination, there was still something on that property.
okay, but there
I
wasn't in
believe that's-
2021.
There wasn't.
Well, Dave wasn't around in 2020
No,
either.
but
right?
Casey was,
But Casey was.
right?
I gotta push past
Yeah.
Casey right now, but I'm going back to what Dave and his original determination.
Yeah, and that's my issue is, you know, Casey just regurgitated that letter without doing
With
any
no
research on
explanation
it.
to it.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll see where that falls out. We're gonna be dealing with a lot of this.
When in doubt, call the attorneys.
So the November meeting, happens to fall right on Veterans Day. So we are gonna have to reschedule our meeting. Our options are Monday, November 10th, or Wednesday, November 12th. Is there a preference from the board of which day would work better? If not, just get back to me in relatively short order if you want to check your calendars or not, so we can get the schedule to get the room reserved.
If it matters, I believe the 11th I'm busy. So if you have to go not towards Monday, go towards Wednesday. If you want me.
The 11th is Tuesday.
Okay, I'm sorry, then go to the 13th, the 12th. What day is Wednesday?
The 12th.
12th.
Sorry, Wednesday, go to the 12th. If it doesn't matter, if you want me. If you don't care if it's me and I can send somebody else, then I really don't care which one you go. But I'm just throwing it out there that I know on the 11th I have another meeting.
Does anybody have an issue with Wednesday, the 12th?
I may, we can figure that out.
If you guys can all get back to me within the next week, and just let me know what one works better for you guys. And
Yeah.
Good, on the
Yeah.
12th.
then we can advertise it and get everything, get the room reserved and everything. All right, Chair entertain a motion to adjourn the July 8th, 2025 Town of Van Buren Zoning and Planning Board meeting. And a motion.
Move. Second.
Hearing first and second, any comments? Hearing no comments, all those in favor?
All right.
Against? Have a good evening.